Hi, it's Tommy from FDS, and today we are going to look at this, which is another one of my personal weapons. This is a pump retal, as you can see. It's not like any other pump retal that you might have seen, and I've got a bit of an acknowledgement for Gavin Fuzzy for this one, because he made the pump grip, he also made the top rail, and he showed me a few of the tricks that are in his, so respect to Gavin for how he's done his. And we'll go inside in a bit and I'll put it over the workbench. You can have a look at some of the stuff that's going on internally. This is currently running a 7 kilo spring, and I'm going to take this opportunity to put it over the chrono. This is currently running a 7 kilo spring, so I'm going to put it over the chrono. I obviously drop the spring tension depending on what kind of game I'm playing, and I did use this at Bristol Blast 4, and it was running just a 5 kilo spring there, and because there's kids and half of it was inside, there's no point in running max power at that kind of thing. So I'm going to put the 7 kilo spring over the chrono, and we're going to use these nice fresh Elites. These are a 12 pack, I've got 2, and so I'll fire 30 shots because it's just one of my tests over the chrono with the 7 kilo spring, and you can see what sort of performance we get from that.
Right, before we go and take this over the chrono, I thought I would run through a few of the features, and this is my personal Retaliator. I'm not really a big Springer player, but I made this after having a chat with Gavin about a few things, and he was kind enough to give me one of his pump grip kits and ship it to England. So I thought I'd quickly go over what's going on with this one. First of all, as you can see, it runs a worker stock on the back. It's got one of my slings on. A number of people make these, and I just make my own because it's cheaper just to make them than it is to buy them. The first thing about this is it's fully breakdown, so I can take the stock off. One of the first mods I made to Gavin's kit was to replace the M3 screws here with just these 2 stainless steel knurled thumb screws. Now I went for quite long threads because they're taking the full force of the prime, so those needed to obviously be fairly long. You could probably get away with a 12mm or ½ inch shred on those, but I bought a 15, and that enables you to simply slide the pump grip off. So as you can see, once those are removed, and these M3 thumb screws, once they're taken out, this is a 15mm thread, but you could probably get away with a 12. You can simply slide the pump grip forwards like that and strip it out. And then we now get into the guts of this blaster. As you can see, it's got some of Gavin's little name tag things on. But one thing about this that is not like a normal Retaliator is that obviously it incorporates the Orange Modworks Stage 3 breech, and as you can see, I've got Gavin's top rail kit on there, and this is the standard Orange Modworks Stage 3 breech, which isn't fully sealed. I know this for all those smug people who've corrected me for saying it was a sealed breech, and I identified that it wasn't a sealed breech in my original review, but it's better sealed than the standard one. The only annoying thing about this is that the bolt fit is really terrible for darts. There's probably another 5 FPS to be had out of improving the fit in the bolt, but I had it, I wasn't using it. So the way that I've done that is I've let the you can see here is the screw thread part, and I looked at Gavin and how he'd done his, and Gavin had done his pretty similar. So all I've done is I've just enlarged this hole here to take the screw thread, and I did that by filing and messing with it and just tweaking until it all fitted in. I didn't do a terribly tidy job because I needed it for a game, and so I just modified the barrel, and the barrel is one that came off one of my old master keys, so it had some holes in the bottom, and then I fitted Gavin's top rail. And this one runs a variety of springs, anything from a 5 kilo to a 10 kilo, depending on what sort of game I'm playing at, and you can just take the buttstock off and then open it up. So there's the tricks that have gone into this one, and obviously the cool thing is that I have this apart from the old barrel extension, which incidentally is absolutely useless if you own one of those, and what I can do with this, I've got to go and get it on the machine shop and bore it out a little bit in the centre here, and my plan for that is to make a really nicely seated barrel, so I can have a small barrel. When I up the spring rate, I can just have an inserted barrel in there which will hide inside the faux barrel in there, and that will obviously make better use of my higher spring rate. Although you're leaking a little bit of air out of this plunger, so I have to be shorter than the fully sealed brass breech. But I had this sitting around. Now, the other hot piece of news about the Orange Modworks breech is that there's rumours that they're going to do a new sealed breech for the Retaliator. So I don't know how true that is, but those came from Orange Modworks' same site, so God knows how long it'll be before we get them, but there's a possibility of a newer version of this kit being released, and that could be interesting. So keep your eyes peeled on Orange Modworks' site and see for any further announcements. So now we're going to go put it over the chrono and see what it actually shoots on the 7 kilo Orange Modworks spring.
As you can can see I'm all loaded up, and let's see what we get over the chrono. Okay, we're going to look at the specs for my personal Retaliator with orange ModWorks seal breech, and also the 7 kilo plus orange ModWorks spring. So we've got a high of 123, low of 104, average of 115, extreme spread of 19, standard deviation 4 feet per second.